Welcome to AmeenAcademy.com. In History of Muslim World, let us discuss about rightly guided Caliphs Ali. After the death of Osman, Ali, Zubair, Talha and Muawiyah each became a candidate for assumption of the caliphate. But the majority of the people of Egypt, Kufa and Arabia supported the cause of Ali on the ground that he was the most suitable candidate in every respect and that his claims were undoubtedly the highest. Accordingly, Ali was declared as the caliph. He dismissed the governors of Kufa, Syria, and Egypt and appointed new administrators in their places. But the new governors mostly proved unsuccessful, and great disorder and confusion took place in various parts of the empire. Ali, born in 600 CE in Mecca, Arabia, now in Saudi Arabia. Died January 661, Kufa, Iraq, was the cousin and son-in-law of Muhammad, the Prophet of Islam, and fourth of the rightly guided Rashidun Caliphs, as the first four successors of Muhammad are called. Ali was the fourth and final of the rightly guided Caliphs or Rashidun, who ruled the Islamic empire after the death of Prophet Muhammad. That is as a fourth caliph. He is known for popular with many tribes, but his reign was marked by civil war and his assassination. Here's some more information about Ali and the Rashidun Caliphs. The Rashidun Caliphs began 632 CE with the death of the Prophet Muhammad and ended in 661 CE with the assassination of Ali. The first fitna, that's confusion, was a civil war that began after the assassination of Uthman, Ali's predecessor. The war was fought between the Umayyads leader from Uthman's clan and Ali. The administrative system. Rashidun Caliphs introduced an innovative administrative system that was used by subsequent rulers until 1924 CE, last caliphate. The Golden Age. The period of the Rashidun Caliphs is considered a golden age because the Caliphs were guided by Muhammad's practice. Ali is associated with the Futawat or spiritual chivalry, which were military and economic orders that combined craftswork, service, and spiritual discipline. In order to find a remedy for these disorders, that means the Ali's governors having more disorders. So, in order to find a remedy for these disorders, Aisha, together with Zubair, Talha, and several of the rebel leaders, proceeded to Basra with a view to interview the caliph. But through the intrigues of conspirators, a fierce conflict broke out between the men of the two parties. Talha and Zubair were killed in the course of this conflict, and Aisha surrendered himself to the caliph, who treated her with the greatest honor and respect. After the close of the battle, the caliph appointed a man of his party as governor of Basra and himself proceeded to Kufa, where he established his capital at the urgent entreaty of the people of the locality. By this time, the rule of the new caliph had spread over the whole of Persia and Egypt and overall Arabia, with the exception of Syria. Before that, we'll talk about swords of Ali. According to Islamic tradition, the Islamic Prophet Muhammad gave the Zulfiqar sword to his son-in-law and cousin Ali bin Abi Talib. The sword is said to have been first used around 656. The sword weight is 2 kg and 660 grams. It has a 27-inch blade and 2.75-inch blade width and a 7.5-inch handle. This double-sided sharpened sword is special and it can be used by some specially court warrior only, because all cannot use this sword. Next, the Muawiyah. The Muawiyah one, born 602 Mecca, Arabia, died April or May 680 Damascus, was an early Islamic leader and founder of the great Umayyad dynasty of caliphs. He fought against the fourth caliph Ali, seized Egypt and assumed the caliphate after Ali's assassination. He restored unity to the Muslim empire and made Damascus its capital. He reigned from 661 to 680. By this time, the rule of the new caliph had spread over the whole of Persia and Egypt and overall Arabia under the exemption of Syria. Muawiyah, the governor of Syria, was rich in resources of men and money, but the Caliph Ali was not to be deterred by such considerations and launched upon an expedition against him. Muawiyah was defeated in battle and sued for peace. But peace could not be concluded for a variety of reasons. The Caliph, however, was unwilling to shed the blood of a fellow believer and so retracted his steps from Syria. Afterwards, in AD 660, the dispute between Caliph and Muawiyah was settled, and the Muslim empire was divided into two halves, an eastern and western. This was the first time that bigger Islamic dynasty divided as two, Islamic emperor divided as two dynasties. One of these houses remained under the control of Ali, and while Muawiyah sent an army to Egypt and brought it under his sway. Next, he invaded Arabia and brought Mecca, Medina, and Yemen under his control, finding that his authority was daily on the wane. The Caliph prepared once again for the invasion of Syria with an army of 60,000 men, but just about this time, 12,000 of Ali's men deserted his side and took up the cause of this enemy. These rebels are known by the name of Kharijis. We'll talk about who are Kharijis. The Kharijites were the group of Muslims who rebelled against the establishment order in early Islam. The Kharijites were initially followers of Ali, the Prophet Muhammad's cousin and son-in-law. They rebelled against Ali after they agreed to arbitration talks with Muawiyah at the Battle of Siffin in 657. The term Kharijites comes from the Arabic word Khawarij, which means those who left. The Kharijites also called themselves al-Shurat, which means the exchanges. The Kharijites believed in an egalitarian principles of election, where any Muslims could become caliph if they were of sound mind and character. They also believed that works were an essential part of faith. The Kharijites believed it was forbidden to live with those who did not share their views. The Kharijites were also known as Hurayriya, after Harura, the site of one of their main camps in Iraq. They were also known as Ghulat, which means extremists. The Kharijites were the first identifiable sect of Islam. They emerged as followers of Muhammad, debated how much one could deviate from ideal norms of behavior and still be called Muslim. The Kharijis did not admit the caliph could be selected only from the Quraysh. Rather, they held that anyone could be entitled to the honor who could discharge the duties of this high office adequately and with judicious wisdom. In the opinion of these people, none but the great God alone was entitled to receive allegiance from men. On the other hand, in free Arabia, everyone could have the right to be elected as a caliph if considered fit and competent, and it would be proper and justifiable to dispose him from sovereignty if he incurred the displeasure of the public. The Kharijis were the extremists of Islam. They considered as they penetrated far into the interior of Africa and brought the wild Berber tribes under their sway. In the year 661 AD, they entered into conspiracy to kill Muawiyah, Amr, and Ali himself. As a result of this conspiracy, Ali was seriously wounded while saying his prayers within the mosque. He survived for the brief period of 3 days only. The mortal career of Ali came to an end in the 63 years of his age. On the 26th January 661, after he had reigned as caliph for a period of 5 years only, his tomb still exists at a place called Najaf at a distance of 5 miles from Kufa and is regarded as one of the important places in Islam. Ali was most zealous in furthering the cause of education. In Medina, he delivered lectures himself at the mosque on logic, philosophy, the commentaries on the Quran and the laws of Islam. He was mild and tender-hearted and was always liberal in helping the poor and those who were in distress. People took advantages of his free and forgiving disposition in order to further their own sordid self-interest. Ali was one of the 10 to whom the Holy Prophet had first communicated the gospel of heaven and the afterlife, and he was also one of the 6 chief companions whom the Prophet mentioned on this deathbed. He had accompanied the Prophet in almost in all battles. At the time of the last battle, he was in the absence of the Prophet, entrusted with the government of Medina. It was Ali who first advised Umar to begin reckoning the Islamic era from the date of the Hijrah, the Prophet's migration from Mecca to Medina. Among the traditional sayings concerning the Prophet, nearly 586 have come down from Ali, and of these 44 have been regarded as authentic and unimpeachable by such commentators as Bukhari and Muslim. He was very pious and used to distribute his wealth among the poor. The earth and pleasures, therefore, thereof had no attraction for him, and it was found that at the time of his death, he left only 600 dirhams as the sum total of his worldly wealth. Ali is designated by the Shias as Waliullah, or the vicegerent of God. Now, next we talk about end of early caliphate. The Rashidun Caliphate ended with the assassination of Caliph Ali in 661 CE and the first fitna, which transferred power to the Umayyad dynasty. The Rashidun Caliphate was the first fourth caliphs of the Islamic empires who ruled from 632 to 661 CE. The Rashidun caliphs were Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, and Ali. During their rule, the armies of Islam united the Arabian Peninsula and conquered parts of the Byzantine and Sasanian Empire. The first fitna, that is confusion, was a civil war that Ali spent most of his reign fighting. The war was fought between Ali and Muawiyah and also included a rebellion by the Kharijites, who were former supporters of Ali. The war led to the overthrow of the Rashidun Caliphate and the establishment of Umayyad Caliphate. The Umayyad Caliphate was the largest caliphate and the last to rule the entire Muslim world. So far we discussed about the rightly guided Caliph Ali. We have done. Please subscribe our YouTube channel.